What's good, everybody? This is Ace here with About That Sports Life. Here, as always, my partner, Mark. And you know what we came to do? We came to talk sports. Without further ado, we're going to get into, jump right into it. But, real quick, just to get the pleasantries out the way, man. What's good, bro?
Ain't nothing going on. How you? Just chilling.
Cooling, man. Another day, man. Beautiful day out.
Yeah,
Little,
weather finally breaking.
yeah, we finally getting some good weather, and look like it's going to stay steady for a while. So that's good.
Yeah, once the cold end for good, that's the wrap. You don't want to go back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can't go back. But yeah, I mean, we got a bunch of a few things to hit today, so we'll probably get jump right into it. Um, First and foremost, we got to talk about this past weekend, the college NCAA national championship for basketball. Um, Gonzaga and Baylor. By now everybody knows what happened. So, let's just kind of get what's your reactions to that the game, or like what or even more so than the game itself as the game unfolded. Like,
Okay. Well, first, I just want to say Baylor is a real deal. Like, I know some may feel like Gonzaga could beat them if it was a series, but I don't know. After watching that game, I don't know. Like, I think Baylor was the better team, and I see that from the first 8 minutes of the game that they were just too athletic for them. Davion Mitchell, Butler, and they came ready to take it from the moment the ball was tipped off. You know what I mean? Like Gonzaga seemed like they had to get into the flow of the game. Baylor started the game with "Let's go, it's ours."
yeah, I'll put it like this. I agree with what you're saying, but I just feel like for sure Baylor played the better game. I still think Gonzaga, if you're gonna ask me, Gonzaga's the better team. But Baylor obviously came out and played the better game. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. It don't matter what type of talent you got. If you don't come out and play that
No, it's one
game,
game. That's the
yeah,
NCAA
then
tournament.
you're
One
gonna get
game.
beat. So it's
On
like,
that night, Baylor set their foot in their mouth and said, "We're not losing," and that's how they played. They played like they knew they weren't losing from the beginning. And like we gotta think about it. These two teams have been the best two teams for 2 seasons now. I mean, we kind of never seen a championship how we just saw that. Like we didn't have a tournament last year. And Baylor
yeah,
and Gonzaga, along with Kansas and maybe Villanova, thought they and Dayton because they had Obi Toppin, they thought they could win a championship when everything got shut down, right?
hmm
All of them teams thought they could win. So when you come back this year, and the two teams that was even if Gonzaga, if Kansas, if Devin Dotson comes back, right, and say it was Kansas and Gonzaga, or Kansas and Baylor, any of those teams, it would have been a different feel because that's 2 years of those teams being the best. And for Baylor to be the one that come out on the top, they only lost one game this season during the whole COVID thing. I just gotta give them their respect. Like that's a team that
yeah, yeah,
they serious.
Uh, yeah. And that was my real takeaway. Like as the game unfolded and when they came out and jumped on Gonzaga like that. When Gonzaga tried to get back into the game, and every time they tried to get back into the game, Baylor just pretty much crushed
Mm-hmm.
their hopes. You couldn't do nothing but tip the cap. I mean, they did what they set out there to do. Because
They
that's the
do.
thing. Being someone that talks about sports the way this is what I do. I talk about sports, and knowing the media, we all talk, we hype things. But
Mm-hmm.
also being someone that has been on a team, that has been an athlete, I know that it doesn't really matter to you at the end of the day who thinks who's better and who's supposed to
Now
do
when you get
what.
on that court, nah,
It
Baylor
doesn't
was think
matter.
about none of that. None of that. That was a wrap. You 100% right. And none of that matters. None of that. Oh, what they talked about us on ESPN or what's our ranking? Nah. What you gonna do with these court with this
Yeah,
ball in
you
front of
still
you?
got to play me. We got to
You
play on this
still
court.
gotta play. Yeah. And that's why I feel like no matter what type of series we saw or whatever the circumstances were of how you had to win a championship, I feel like Baylor would have been able to get it done versus Gonzaga because they just it just looked better. Like it just looked like not all season Gonzaga kind of when they played teams, it looked like a different level. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it kind of looked like a different level.
Oh
So I mean,
yeah.
like
No, it
I
didn't.
know
Kind of.
Suggs got foul, got like if I know Suggs got in foul trouble early, and if that doesn't happen, maybe they don't fall as much as a whole, and they be able to fight back. And they stayed consistently within like 10 to 12 when they had them before they, barely opened it back up near the end. Maybe I changed something, but it was like at no point did I see like that Chris Pitt was going to be able to do the things he gets other teams. Timmy is the post game was not happening the same way you see that happen in other places.
Well, that's the thing. Gonzaga wasn't able to impose their style of play.
Their
And
game,
I've
yes.
talked about how Gonzaga plays and the reason why they do look like they're that level above. They play a pro style game
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, they run sets. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of passing. Baylor wasn't playing like that. Baylor was playing, that normal college that is more predicated on, playing hard. They played harder. Like they and one thing they did is they made shots. They made shots.
Yes, Butler and Mitchell made these shots, and Butler looked like the real deal.
Butler was like an NBA player. Like, I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
like,
he's gonna be a
I
first
mean,
round
but
pick, but
even
he
like,
went off. He
you
showed
know,
out.
he
Him
looks
and
like a
Mitchell showed out all five
potential
quarters.
lottery pick shooting like that in a
Right.
championship game.
They made a name. You came in on one team, you came out knowing somebody else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like I said, Gonzaga couldn't really ever. Kispert couldn't get into his game, like, but his game is more of a rhythm type of game. Like
Yes.
he's a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He needs that, like, but and it just never really happened. They couldn't establish Timmy in the post, like you said. Suggs got in foul trouble.
Yeah, like,
Nemhard never.
AIU
Nemhard
had
was
the
too
best game.
small. Nemhard looked too small. He looked too small. I hadn't seen Suggs and Nemhard look too small all season.
Yeah, they went away when you play against the NBA backcourt. I
Yeah,
mean, that's older than you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a part of it. Like it was they backcourt Gonzaga is an 18 and a 20-year-old, and they playing a 21 and 22-year-old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But
yeah, tough game
I
for
enjoyed the
Gonzaga, but
game, even though Baylor kind of controlled it. It still wasn't a bad championship game. You know what I mean?
no,
Sometimes when it's a
because
blowout, you kind of like, oh man, we did not win this.
boring.
I think it's because like I don't know what it was in this game. The athleticism still showed on both teams because Gonzaga is still a special team. So yeah, they were losing, but at the same time, at the second half, they kind of stayed with themselves a little bit. You seen them play how they played, but it was already too much of a momentum swing that had them in a big hole. So that's why I feel like the game still wasn't like I didn't check out of it.
Yeah, no. I thought that, at certain points in the game, that Gonzaga had a shot to
Yeah,
get
exactly.
back into it, but they just couldn't. And like I said, Baylor came in there with the mentality, and that sometimes the mentality is more important. Like I said again, than the talent, than just the sheer, you know, potential of your talent that you have on the floor. That mentality that I don't really care who these kids is. I'm winning this. We winning this game. That'll take you further than any amount of talent. Sometimes in any one
Mm-hmm.
game, I'll say that in any one
When the
game.
talent is pretty much even, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was definitely a surprise. Um, Definitely not what most expected out of the championship game. Because even nobody, I don't think anybody thought that it was going to be a blowout the other way,
Either way, yeah.
Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
But I just
Either
didn't
way.
think nobody expected Gonzaga to be dominated like that.
Mm-mm. I didn't think anybody's getting blown out. I thought it was gonna be
Yeah,
a
I thought it was
good
going to be a
game,
good game.
and I thought Gonzaga would probably pull it out in the last 3 or 4 minutes. That's what I thought. But Baylor to punch him in the mouth from the beginning. That's why I thought, like, okay, it's just they're better than them. Like, it's nothing we can say. Like, that's what they did. They showed today that we're
Yeah,
not playing with y'all.
yeah. I mean, it's really nothing that can be said about that. It's just, of course, you got the whole story of, Gonzaga, trying to finish the undefeated season, but at the
Yeah,
end of the day, they both finished with the same record, except Baylor won the game that meant the most.
that mattered. The game that mattered. Now I'm gonna say this. I kind of think Gonzaga won't win the championship until they go to a real conference. Because now every time I watch them, when they play on that stage. Because even UCLA pushed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the athleticism jumps a little bit and it's everybody there is at a certain level and not just Gonzaga, they haven't been able to bang it yet. I mean, this is the second time they came to play North Carolina, they lost. I mean, now they've played Baylor in the championship, they've lost. They can get to the Final Four, they can get to the championship now, but until they start to play consistent, high level athletes, I think they have a ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, because to me, with that, it's like the old saying goes, like a rising tide raises all boats. So what that kind of means is kind of like iron sharpens iron. Like, so if you're in that type of conference and you playing those high stakes games against that
Mm-hmm.
type of level of talent, it's not that like just like I said about the game. I still feel like
Yep.
Gonzaga was the more talented team. It's not like they
Mm-hmm.
don't recruit and get the better good talent. Like,
Yeah, the
you know,
talent's there.
like
A
take next
certain
season
talent
for
there.
instance. It hasn't been he hasn't announced yet, but it's almost 100%, almost a lot. They're gonna have the number one player in the nation coming in next
Mm-hmm.
season. So then so they get the talent. It's just that the
Mm-hmm.
talent that his talent can't raise his entire team unless they're playing better competition. And I think that's kind of what happens when you have a situation like what happened in that championship game. Like you said, we said Suggs got in foul trouble. So without that piece, they couldn't raise their level because
Yeah,
they didn't have the
because
next
they
guy that
went
had the
against
piece.
more potential pros, and you
Yeah,
got to go through that all season. You got pros too, yeah, but you're not playing against that level. You mean so when it
exactly.
comes and it's in your face, and it's in the biggest game, and that's it's kind of something you can't just get and see in segments because they do schedule non-conference games against good teams. Not gonna say they don't. They play their good teams early in the season, and then from
But
December
they
to
don't mean
March,
anything.
yeah,
The problem is it
December,
doesn't mean
yeah.
anything.
Hold on, even if it did, from December to March, they don't play that. So that's a
That's what I'm saying.
long time. And then you go through
Yeah.
your conference tournament, y'all wipe the conference tournament. Then
Mhm.
this year, they didn't play a real opponent until they got to UCLA. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like that's what I think is the issue. That 2 years, 2 times in a row at the championship game, that's what I'm starting to think. Like, I don't know. Until they get in an environment where they're playing that level of athleticism at all times, I think they're in trouble. We didn't
Yeah.
get there, but let's see if Mark Few can punch the door in.
Yeah. No,
But
I
I never
agree.
thought if he doesn't win, he'll never leave.
Yeah. You gonna want to get it done there.
Yeah, it's too much
Yeah.
now. Two of them, he lost two of them there now. What?
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah. Nah, they definitely gonna want to get it done, especially like I said, being able to get the type of talent that he like. That's got to be like the ultimate like slipping through your fingers. Like you got the talent. You definitely have the talent, and you just can't get it done. Like it's got to be tough. But anyway, once again, congrats to Baylor. They played a great game, but let's shift gears a little bit. Something a little bit more uh, a topic that I just thought not funny. I just find I like when things happen in sports that can kind of capture the imagination, just kind of get you
Mm-hmm.
to thinking a little bit about like well, and I'm talking about an NFL topic. So especially in the off season. So
Mm-hmm.
you got the NFL draft coming up. Um, I am not the biggest college football guy. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't have a team. I don't have a college football team. I don't have a rooting interest in college football. So I'm more of a player fan. I'm kind of come and go with that. More casual with
Mm-hmm.
college football. College basketball, NBA, NFL. I'm all in. I'm very in depth with that. But college basketball, not quite. But this was interesting to me because, like I said, being more of a player fan, the NFL is expected to change the rule with jersey numbers and relax
Mm-hmm.
that a little bit. That's one thing I never liked about NFL. That, like I said, without even being that big of a college fan, I always hated when the players I like in college, when they get drafted, they got to change their numbers because it doesn't go with the position. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah,
case
that's
in point,
happened.
you got Zeke Elliott, you got Jay, Jalen. Why am I blanking on his last name?
I don't know. Who, Ramsey?
No, our
Nick
our
draft?
our, our linebacker. Damn it,
Smith?
Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
So you got those guys that had to change their numbers, and it just doesn't. You get used to it, but for a little while, it
Yeah.
just looks weird.
Yeah, I like that they
So
go open it up. What they talking about open it. We'll see if it happens. It'd be interesting to see what guys change to what, right?
exactly.
And that's the most interesting part to see. All right, how many are really going to do it? Now, something else I thought about is, all right, I hope the players. If I got your jersey already, I can't have you doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
like
you,
I got
that's
the
what I
Zeke
try
already.
to think about
You
that part
switch to the
too.
15,
You know
but
what I
I
mean?
would kind of like it though. I feel like maybe it's just me being a fan. I just think that like it could kind of rejuvenate some guys. Like Zeke to me needs some rejuvenation. So like
You
if he
do.
could switch his jersey back, maybe he'll get back some of that Ohio State juice, some of that magic, and so I'll be on board for that.
Yeah, and I think it's just it helps the NFL's image also. You know what I mean? Because you know how like for a while they was calling NFL the no fun league. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
always
it
the
helps
rules for
it,
no
and
reason.
yeah, like when you start to relax things, and Goodell is starting to notice now maybe he was going too hard early on. You know what I mean? Trying to make this big. Oh, I'm Roger Goodell. I'll suspend you here. I do this type of way he was running his position as commissioner. You see him start to relax it now. You're going to see players be more, allowed to express themselves. That's really what it is. I mean, like there's no need to shut a guy down because he works a high job. He plays a professional sport now. It's still football. It's still a game. You know what I mean? They still want to have as much fun as you had when you were a 12-year-old and you doing it for 3 cents. I mean, you doing it for the downs in the game and that's it. No money, no nothing. You doing it to say to your boys, we beat y'all. That's what they still want to. It's still just that at the basis. So we shouldn't be.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be so many rules. You gotta let them dudes be themselves. That's what you gonna see
but
more.
like I feel like that. Like I don't know. I never really got why those strict rules were in place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because to me, I mean, of course, not as many players, but the NBA doesn't have those same type of restrictions. So I never really got
Yeah,
it.
like
Like, why is
you
it
don't got the point
position?
guard only allowed to wear number. You a point guard, you only gonna wear 1 to 10.
Yeah. So like, why are we doing this?
Like
I mean,
what's the
I
point?
get that there's so many guys. There'll probably be a lot of duplicate numbers. I get that, but it's just like, come on, man. I
Well,
mean,
no,
we can
yeah,
win. We
I'm okay with not duplicating numbers. I think that does. I even don't like that in college. Like I do think it should be offense and defense. You have whatever number is yours. But college, I get it because there's so many kids. That's why it really happens there. Pros will need to have more than one guy wearing the same number, but they should be able to wear
yeah.
whatever they want. If you're a guard and you want to wear number 14, have fun, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Why not? Why are we doing this? Like,
What's the,
why,
have fun?
why can't he win it?
Hey,
But like to
why
me,
can't he
I feel
wear
like
14?
the NFL, like for being uh as as big of a marketing machine as the NFL is, I feel like you're missing some marketing opportunities, making these
Yeah,
kids change their numbers from college because you know people follow these athletes, and not that they're not going to get the New
yeah,
Jersey anyway, but it's like it's even better if you got a bunch of number 15 jerseys for Zeke. You got his Ohio State, you got his Cowboys white, you got his Cowboys blue. What I mean? You could have those. Now I mean, you probably still have them, but now they're all different numbers. It's just bad optics to me. I feel like
hmm
just make it a little bit more seamless. Like, I mean,
I
some
wish
guys are
you.
going to change their numbers anyway. Like, they're going to want to change their numbers from what they had in college. They may want their high school number back or something like that. So
Yeah,
it's going to happen, but I think everybody should have the option.
nah,
It's like,
yeah, that's all it's about. It don't matter what they pick. You should be able to pick whatever you want. You know what I mean, like unless as long as it's available or the team. I mean, if somebody else got it, yeah, you don't come there from college like, oh, bro, I need that. That was my college number. Nah, but if it's
yeah, now
open
you got to get a
already,
new number.
if it's that number is open already, you should be able to do what you want. Yeah. And if you're a
And
lineman,
also,
if you want to come to the league and you know number 4 is wide open, you say, okay, I'm being number 4. It don't gotta be number 77 because the league says so.
yeah, it don't make no sense to me. Like, what? That always kind of irked me. I was like, why? Why are we doing this? Like,
Yeah, I like that they opening that back up and
now
that was
I don't want to
the
see a
final.
quarterback number 80. I don't want to see that. Like, That just looks nasty. Like, but at the same
Nah, you
time,
gotta let it go.
yeah, that look
You gotta be
nasty. Like, you
you
can't
gotta
be
be
number 87 and
nah, you gotta let
the
him be
QB. Like,
free. If bro wanna be 87, you gotta let him be free. Dak
that's
87. You gotta get your 87 Cowboy jerseys. Go.
that's nasty.
Dak
Like, I'm
said
like,
he
come on,
wants, hey, if the quarterback wanna wear
quarterback.
34, let him wear 34.
Nah, they gotta quarterbacks gotta keep their single digits and
Okay. I
teams.
need Jalen Hurts.
Like,
He
relax.
changed the number. Jalen Hurts, he said he wanna be number one. Tomorrow he said he wanna be 43. We gotta let him be 43.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's like,
I don't
yo,
know why he would
off
do that,
topic,
but
off topic. But I am not gonna lie. Like when I seen that we trade, I'm NBA Celtics. We traded
Mhm.
for Evan Fournier, and I seen that he took number 94. I instantly knew he wasn't gonna be shit. I'm like, it's never been a number 94 that was dope. Fuck it. I just like, oh man.
he had no choice, no hope. Evan
That's
Fournier
the
got
thing.
no
Celtics,
hope for the second he picked 94.
yeah,
That is a
but
dumbass
that's the thing
number.
about coming to the Celtics. There's so many retired numbers that it's a struggle.
Exactly.
It's a
Exactly.
struggle.
That's exactly. Yep.
Most nine
hmm
times out of ten, the number you whatever you got, you got to change it.
94.
Yeah,
But
that's
why
wild.
that
That's a
one?
wild number. Yeah, I don't know.
That
That's a
wasn't
wild number.
that wasn't the only thing. Oh, what maybe that's what nah, he ain't that young.
Yeah, he
I'm
can't be
about to
born
say
in
maybe.
'94.
Yeah, I had to think about it.
Maybe. I don't
Nah,
know.
nah,
I don't
nah,
know.
nah, nah.
I don't care.
94. That's only 22. Nah, he ain't that young.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Nobody should be wearing number 94.
Nah, that's a
Like,
nut number.
it was
Not
bad
in
enough Luca Wayne.
basketball.
Bad
Not in
enough Luca Wayne
basketball.
got number 77. I was like, whoa, bro. You too popular for that. Who's gonna wear a number 77 jersey?
Oh, I'm glad he's nice because now you just forget about it.
Yeah,
Really? Like if he was trash, or if he was average, if he was a bust, we talk about that all the time.
yeah,
It's like because he wearing that silly ass number. If
yeah.
he was average, that's what we were saying. He just that
Like I
deal.
said,
What we
as
gonna
soon as
do?
I seen that Evan Fournier was gonna be number 94, I knew he wasn't gonna do that shit.
Yeah. If Luca was a bust, he would have said that about 77. Like, yo, as soon as he got drafted, he picked 77. I knew it was a wrap. But he that dude, so
Yeah,
you
he
gotta
nice. So
accept it.
you gotta let him rock.
Yeah, I'm right. Because he nice.
I used to feel like that about zeros too. Now I like zeros.
Nah,
I
damn,
never
it
used
took
to
it to
like
another.
zeros.
Dang.
Damn, Gilbert Arenas was the first one to really,
Gilbert, ages 0. You know,
yeah, he
there
the
he
one that
is.
really had me like, oh, okay, zeros is
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely had that jersey. All right, so sticking with going back to
Gilbert
NFL.
Arenas. Mm.
That was my guy. That was my guy, man. I
Oh, he was
really like
nice,
Gilbert
bro.
Arenas.
He was nice for like 3 years. Then he just,
Yeah,
we know what he did. We'll
Hibachi,
keep it
them
going.
knees. But he was out.
It's
But
more injured. It's the
before he did the
injury.
dumb stuff, he was already cooked because them knees was
Yeah,
done.
yeah. It's like Steve Francis.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They have some crazy guards. But keep on my back.
No. Back to NFL real quick before we do eventually hit some NBA stuff. Um, I want to talk a little bit more NFL draft rumors. Talk. Um, we got the trade already. With the 49ers moving up,
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins moving back, Philly moving
Mm-hmm.
back. Now we got potential a lot of before we do that, we got to talk Sam Darnold. We haven't talked Sam
Mm-hmm.
Darnold.
That's what I thought you were
So
talking about.
the Jets did this past week complete a trade of Sam Darnold going to drawing a blank.
Panthers.
Ah,
The Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. So what's your thought? What's your thoughts on one them finally moving on from the Sam Darnold experiment? I'm not going to call it an error. He wasn't there long enough to have an error. The Sam Darnold experiment.
This Sam Darnold blimp in the sky in New York.
Yeah.
I had no comment on Sam Darnold. I don't know what Sam Darnold is. I think it's the right thing to trade him. Zach Wilson is going to be their quarterback. We already know that, and we knew they wasn't going to pick. We knew they wasn't going to not picking for Carolina and Darnold. Carolina has the 8th pick, right? So if they sat there and they've been doing their own little mock drafts, all the teams do it to try to figure their stuff out. They felt as though Fields is not making it to them. Then I understand doing this. I mean, you
Yeah.
get Darnold, you get to see if it was just because he was in New York with Adam Gase already behind, or if he's really sorry. We're gonna find out. You got some nice weapons in Carolina. You know, what I mean, you got DJ Moore. You got you got his boy back with Robbie Anderson. He played with him already. You know what I mean? They still
They
have
were
the
pretty
eight.
good together. And to
Yeah,
be honest, that was one of the bright spots of that Jets era was him and Robbie Anderson's connection.
yeah.
They had a pretty good connection.
And then they still have the eighth pick. Now they don't have to worry about taking a quarterback, so they can get a real player at eight at any way. Maybe they get him, they get Slater, they can put him back on the line. Maybe they help their defense. Like I do think I don't have an opinion on Darnold. I don't know if Darnold's good. I don't know if Darnold's bad because I feel like he was in a situation that was he couldn't win in. Like it's
Hmm.
not like I don't have it. I'm not gonna bash Sam Darnold. I'm not gonna say good ball. We about to find out, bro. Mr.
Yeah.
Darnold. We
We
about to
talk
find out about you, Mr. Darnold. Like, we about to
right now.
find out.
It's time to show and prove.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a separate, conversation more in regards to NBA last night. Remember via text, where I kind of mentioned sometimes it really does boil down to where you get drafted to.
Mm-hmm.
And in the NFL, not as much, definitely not as much as the NBA to me, because in the NFL, for some reason, especially at the quarterback position, guys do have that ability to turn a franchise around a lot more. You get to kind of impose your will a little bit more on the franchise that way.
If you that real
Um,
deal.
yeah, if you're that guy, and maybe Donald's not that guy, but that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean he's not good.
Yeah,
Um,
you don't gotta be
so
that guy every day. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I think that the problem with him is we just, like you said, we don't know. We can't. He got an incomplete grade at this point. We can't judge him. So it's almost. I like what Carolina did by taking a chance on him though. 'Cause I feel like you said,
Mm-hmm.
if Fields isn't going to make it to them, if they don't like anybody else, then you don't settle if you don't think
No,
Bridgewater is going to be the guy. You get a guy that is a question mark, a guy that has shown that he had the pedigree coming in, and he hasn't really gotten it, wasn't in the best situation to show what he could do. So you bring him in, like you said, he got weapons. He has Christian McCaffrey. You can't ask
he
for
stay
much more
healthy.
weapon than that.
If he stay
You can't
healthy,
ask for
yeah, you
much.
got McCaffrey, you got DJ Moore, you got like you said, Robbie Anderson, and the eighth pick. You
He's
never
on
know.
he's on the most talented team
If
already.
Pitts falls to eight, well,
I can't see that happening, but we're going to talk about that in a minute anyway. But I think to me, if he went and got your quarterback, I think Slater's the pick there. Or if Sewell drops one of those offensive linemen. I don't know much about the Panthers offensive line, but I just know that you want to give him his best shot. He has weapons. Make sure he's protected, because that's one
mm,
thing he was not in New York, is
mm,
protected. So I would say I could see them taking one of those top offensive linemen, um, with that eighth pick. And I think he set up in a pretty good spot, man. I think they're in a pretty good spot. I'm not mad at it for them.
yeah,
For
you
the
could
Jets,
tell. Like last year, they went with the Bridgewater route, right? And I feel like he wasn't terrible, but you could tell he's not enough to all the way do it. But at the same time, McCaffrey didn't play most of last year. And
yeah,
so
that was a big
it's
big
kind of
factor.
like that's the biggest factor of the Panthers. Like if he's not there, we're in trouble. But I guess they felt as though they seen enough from Bridgewater. We're like, nah, we can't. We can't go that route again, right? So you go Darnold this time, and you continue to try to build the team around him instead of you know what I mean, like because that pick at eight now does not have to be a quarterback.
Yeah,
They can go
exactly.
anywhere with it, and that makes the team better, along with trying to figure out the quarterback. You know what I mean? Now they're able to do two things with one pick at eight. Really, like it opened it
Hmm.
up. Like if Fields was there, yeah, you just go that way, bang. Now that he's not, or we don't know, we're talking in the future. Now he's not. If he's not, you're going to go in another direction and try to just make a good team around Darnold, whereas Darnold doesn't have to be the one to try to take them to another level. Because I don't know if he's that guy. I think he's good enough
Yeah,
to be placed in kind of like Jared Goff. If you place some things around Jared Goff, he can make it happen.
yeah.
That's what I
But I
think
feel like,
Darnold they're trying to figure out and see if he could be that for Carolina.
and I feel like, um, with Christian McCaffrey on that team, a healthy Christian McCaffrey should be the best player on that team, and he should be the one being featured. You just want a quarterback that's not going to lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, to me, unfortunately, what we saw was with McCaffrey going down, you kind of saw what you needed to see from Bridgewater. He was not going to be able to win you a game. So it was like, all right, boom, we already know that. So now, you go with somebody that you think, given the opportunity, couple, connection with Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, he may be able to get you one or two if he needs to, if you need him to. And I think that's kind of the idea there. I like it. I like it. And I was going to talk about it from the Jets side of it. Of course, I think this is what everybody kind of thought was going to happen anyway. It just was kind of a matter of what they were going to do with Darnold. And I think that, I like it for them. If you know that, new coach, new GM, you want to start fresh, get your quarterback in there and, let's see what y'all going to do. Now, my biggest issue with that is, of course, if you want to turn the page at quarterback, that's cool. But quarterback was not your biggest worry on that team. There's a lot of holes on that team. So now you're getting your quarterback, but you still got a lot of work to do to try to make that a serviceable team around that new quarterback that you're bringing in.
Yeah, I mean, they know they can't do that all in one draft. And then the Jets do got a lot of draft picks. When they got another first rounder at
Yeah,
23.
next year they got a lot.
Now they got another first in this draft. They have 2 first round picks this year.
They have 2 this year, and then I think they have
And they have 2 the following year. Yeah.
2 next year, multiple next
No,
year.
no. They had 2 last year, and they got 2 again this year. I mean, because it was for the Jamal Adams trade. But that's what we're saying is, if they believe Zach Wilson's the guy, that's what he's supposed to do it too. They got that. Nothing else. Like if personally, I would take Justin Fields. But I'm just saying the quarterback position, when you don't have one, you got to take them. They can't go another direction. In my opinion, that 2 this year. It's like a GM, like you said, it's a new GM. Joe Douglas has been there for 2 years, but it's just he didn't draft Sam Darnold. And then you bring in Saleh. If him and Saleh sit down and they say they don't even want to attempt to figure out what it is with Darnold, we like what's in the draft, that's the right move.
Yeah, no. If that's your decision, that's what you got to do. I mean, there's a world where they say, let's give Darnold a shot. They trade that out of that too to get some more draft capital to improve that team a little bit more around
it. Darnold.
Yeah, but that's a whole different reality that we're not in. In this reality, they decided to move on, and this was the right move to make. So we'll see, what they do going forward. I'm excited to see what Zach Wilson's going to be able to do there, though. As far as him versus Fields, I got my own thoughts there, but I can't get mad at Zach Wilson. He's a player. He's a baller. So I think if you believe in him, if you like him, then you take him. Now, speaking of that, the other news that came out was the Falcons are thinking about moving that number 4 pick. That's what's being told. They're listening to offers. They're All right. So speaking of that, next thing I wanted to kind of go into was the number 4 pick, which is the Falcons. So the latest news as well is that they're talking about, they're talking to teams, they're listening to offers for that number 4 pick, possibly trading out of that spot. And to me, I think if someone is trading up to 4 for what it would take to get up there, that you wouldn't trade up to. I mean, it's either a quarterback or Kyle Pitts, right? And I don't necessarily know that, that I don't know what teams are really willing to give up the type of capital that you had to give up for Kyle Pitts. So we could potentially be looking at, a team trading up there to look for a Justin Fields or I'm sorry. Yeah, look for somebody, trading up for either Justin Fields or Trey Lance or who do you think might be in play for that?
I think you only move up for Fields. I think any other player outside of the quarterbacks, you should let them fall to you. You know what I mean? Like that's the spot. Only a quarterback you should give up the draft capital to get. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I wouldn't move up for Pitts or any of that because I think Pitts is going to be a big time player, but it has to be somebody like you said, only one of the quarterbacks, and that's Fields.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like if you do for what you have to give up to move up there, that's quarterback, realm. You can't really give, even though to me, Pitts is at worst the second best player in his draft. I believe. Um, he might, Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence, but
It's a
long
good
story
tight
short,
end.
yeah, but 10 years from now, we could be looking back and saying Kyle Pitts has the best career. So that's all. And then,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still, like I said, if you're trading up to the number 4 pick, it's going to be for a quarterback. Teams I'm looking at possibly doing that. The team I think that people should not count out for doing it is the Patriots. I could see, we've seen what they did in free agency. We've seen them be aggressive. I could
Mm-hmm.
see, we know already that Belichick does not shy away from trading in the draft. We've seen him do it in the past. So, I could definitely see him trading up and going and getting Fields, and he has his quarterback for the future, along with the
Oh,
new.
I thought you were saying he's gonna go up for Pitts. Yeah, I don't
No,
think
no,
the
no.
Patriots. Okay.
Oh no, no, I'm talking about Fields. I don't think,
Yeah,
like I
so
said, I
only
don't
number
think
4.
anybody
Yeah.
goes up for Pitts.
Okay. Okay. I was about because I actually could see the Patriots. Pitts would be a nice fit on the Patriots.
Yeah, no, not mad at that. But I'm saying if they trade up, it's going to be for the quarterback.
Yeah, no, I got you. My bad.
Yeah, no, I could see it with the moves with the aggressiveness that we've seen from Belichick in this offseason. I
Now, what
wouldn't
do
put it
you
past.
it for the Falcons? In your opinion, are you staying at 4 and just taking it? So in your opinion, you stay at 4, you just take Fields or Pitts. That's for the Falcons,
If
right?
if I'm the Falcons, if I'm entertaining trading that pick at all, that means I still feel like Matt Ryan is my guy. He still got some of the tank. So then you go get him
Mm-hmm.
another weapon. Now, problem with that is I don't think he needs another weapon. I don't think that's the problem with the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Falcons need defensive help more than anything. So if you're not going to get a quarterback, they need defensive help. But 4 is too high to take anybody on defense, which is why trading down makes sense to me for them. Because the problem is this. Not the problem, but the thing about this draft is this. This draft is top heavy in the quarterback position only. Everybody is rushing up to the top to get these top quarterbacks. But
Mm-hmm.
the effect of that is a lot of really good players are going to fall. And
Mm-hmm.
most of those really good players are going to be on the defensive side of the ball. So if you got holes on defense, this is a good draft to trade back if you got a higher pick. Because you're going to get some quality at in the late teens, even into the 20s defensively in this draft.
I agree with that. If the Falcons feel like they want to build around Matt Ryan more, trading back would be smart. But if they identify a player at 4 that they feel is that good, if they think Michael Parsons is good enough, or they think Patrick Surtain is good enough, I'm not scared of taking them at 4. Because why? Because somebody told me that that's not where they should get drafted. If they see that player is that player, put them on that team and let's rock it. They feel that is their hole. Their hole is more defensively. You know what I mean? So they think Michael Parsons is going to be a Devin White type of linebacker. Devin White went 4 or no 7. You know what I mean? My point is that it's not too high to take an impactful Khalil Mack type of linebacker.
No, I agree. I
If
agree,
they
but it's
think
just like,
Parsons is that guy,
yeah, I just don't think that
he
that
fits.
guy is thought of in this draft. I don't think that there is a defensive player that's thought of as that high. Not to say that there isn't good defensive players. There's some great defensive players, but they're just not thought of as top 4, top 5 type of guys.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm saying if you're the Falcons, if you feel as though they are, F what people feel.
Yeah.
F the rankings. If they think a guy is that good, you go pick him. Who cares how other people rank them? I'm saying in their opinion, if they see Micah Parsons
No, I
as
know
a
what you're
top
saying.
5 guy,
If he on
that's
their
what Mel
board,
Kiper got out there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's that guy.
Every team is supposed to have their own draft board.
Exactly.
So if he's number 4 on your board, then you pick him number 4. It's not a big deal.
No, it is. And I think honestly, because we're right, that is their biggest need. Like I know
But
that people say, oh, like you could always get better if they want to build with Matt Ryan, just take Sewell. I can see that too. But in my opinion, I think it's gonna be Pitts or a quarterback.
well, my other scenario is a team that we know was one of the teams talked about being in the market for a quarterback as well, and then the team that kind of where they sit, they would be kind of hoping that one of those quarterbacks, a Fields, a Lance, falls to them, and that's the Broncos at 8. So
Mm-hmm.
I could see a scenario to me for the Falcons that would
Broncos
be a
is nine,
win-win.
nine, nine.
Nine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Panthers eight. Yeah.
The Panthers are 8. Yeah. That's a win-win because if you can trade up to that 4
Mm-hmm.
and then you get your quarterback,
And
then if
then
you're the
Falcons go to
Falcons, you're
nine.
only trading to 8, so you still got all
Nine.
your options open at that point. I'm sorry, I
Nine.
keep saying that. 9. You still got all your
Yeah,
options at that point.
you
You
do.
might be
More
you
than
might be
likely,
sitting
yeah.
at 9, and Kyle Pitts will slide down there too. Not that I see that happening. I'm just saying, just
Maybe.
yeah,
Not
I think
impossible. Not
scenario. Yeah,
impossible.
there's a scenario where you're sitting at you're sitting there at 8 and I'm 9. Damn, and Kyle Pitts is there, but at 8, I'm 9. You're gonna have your pick of any of the defensive
Parsons,
players you
13,
want.
JC Horn.
So that's where I think that's the best value. That makes the most sense to me. I think that if I'm ranking it, I think that the Patriots have made the call already. I think the Patriots like it for them, but I don't know if the Falcons like it for them.
And
But
going
I feel
back to
like
like 16 in that round.
15. I feel like if the Broncos call, or if the Broncos and the Falcons are having conversations, those are much better conversations that are happening right now. Because I
Yeah.
can see that. That's
You can only go back 5. Yep. You can still
yeah,
get
that's
one
an
of the better
Andy Bro
the
fit.
player. One of the defensive players that it took at 4 is there at 5.
Yeah, he's gonna
Multiple,
definitely
probably.
do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because
you
you
have
think about
options.
it. If the Broncos are trading up at 4, they taking the quarterback. Then at 5, you got the Bengals. That's Sewell. Then at 6 is the Dolphins. They probably go take Chase. 7 is the Lions. This is where is the question. Do they go receiver with Devonta Smith? Do they take Kyle Pitts? I know they got Hawkinson. Or do they could start the defense with Parsons because they need a linebacker. I mean, like 7 is the spot where it's like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
8
7 is good.
now. 8 now is open for whatever. Because Carolina has
Yeah.
Darnold. You know what I mean? So that's where you can see if Pitts is there, he could end up being going to 8, or they could take Ray shots later. You know what I mean? Because offensive line, like you said, to protect Darnold. And that's where 9 Falcons will be right there at 9. And Pitts is, like you said, Pitts is possibly there at 9. We haven't had him definitely go anywhere yet. You said it's all possible. But if they don't, if Pitts is gone, they got Patrick Surtain, they got JC Horn, they got Michael Parsons. Like the Falcons would be, and they would have added another second or third round pick. If you believe in Matt Ryan, that's the best thing to do is to trade back.
Yeah. I mean, I think that those conversations have to be had between the Broncos and the Falcons. It just
And the
makes too much
Broncos
sense.
also have to find a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes too much sense for the Broncos because at this where they sit, it's a good chance that they miss out. Now, Trey Lance might still be there because if the Falcons stay there, then then they're probably going to take Fields or Pitts there. Then you got, then if things go the same way that we kind of talked about it, Trey Lance is still there for the taking. So if you like Lance, maybe you still stay there. Me personally, if I'm, the Broncos, I'm calling the Falcons and seeing what's good. I'm trying to get Fields. I feel way more confident in that move.
Yeah,
And the
I
cost
think
isn't
Justin
going to be
Fields is
as
the second best.
exorbitant.
Oh yeah,
And
to
the
go to
cost
9 for 4, to go to 9 for 4 years, not as much. Yep. And
yeah,
I think Justin Fields is the second best. So, and that's the Broncos, and they have the weapons there. Like you got serious.
exactly.
You got Cortland Sutton, you got Jerry Judy, you got Noah Fant, you got KJ Hamler. Like they got a squad. They got Melvin Gordon as a running back. Like the Broncos will be ready if they went and
Yeah.
got Fields. And John Elway ready to, that's just been his
Yeah.
whole problem the whole time.
Of all these teams that
Since
are
Payton.
talking about, beyond of course, the Jags and the Jags and
In
the
my
Jets.
opinion, hold on real quick. In my opinion, I think all the Fields talk is premature because I don't believe any of this Mac Jones crap. And he's going to the 49ers.
I will disagree. But I don't know if you heard, that's another topic for the NFL draft that we can talk about is there's talk that Fields is going to throw again.
Mm-hmm.
So basically another pro day, and the Niners, are going to be there.
That's the
Their
only
their
reason he's
decision
doing it
makers are
again.
going to be. Yeah.
He already knew
So,
that.
so
That's the
he's
only reason
very
he's doing
much
it again.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
he's very much still in play for
yeah,
that pick. So it's not
absolutely.
sewn up as people were trying to
Nah,
suggest.
that's what I'd be saying. I'm like,
Obviously
Mac
not.
Jones, my ass. Like, y'all crazy. I'm like, Justin Fields is going to San Francisco.
Yeah. So but even in that case, if I'm
If
Denver,
he doesn't, yeah, if you're Denver, get on the phone.
I'm still looking at Mac Jones as an upgrade.
But I can stay at 9 for that.
I think that my thing
I
is you
can't.
can.
Now that
You
you
can,
got
but
Darnold
you're risking
gone,
you're also still risking another
a team
another
calling
team
up. Yeah,
trading with the because if the Falcons are listening to offers, that don't mean they're just listening to your offer. If they're
fact,
listening to offer, it's for sale.
fact.
So you could still miss out on that quarterback. That's why I say it really doesn't make a lot of sense for for the Broncos not to try to do that. Just go get your quarterback if that's what you're doing.
Your quarterback. Yeah, it's not just about Justin Fields. If you're the Broncos, you're going to get your quarterback,
Because, like I was saying,
no matter who's on the
besides
board.
besides the Jags and the Jets, I think the team with the biggest hole at quarterback is the Broncos. Like
Yeah,
you said,
San
they
Fran
have all
just
the
wants
weapons.
one. San Fran
Yeah,
just wants one. They don't have this
yeah,
whole a need as much as the other team.
yeah. The Broncos needs a quarterback. That Drew Lock
Absolutely.
is not working.
Not yet.
Like
Not yet.
you, too many weapons for your quarterback to be the issue.
Yo, they a quarterback away from their offense being dynamic.
Exactly. I'm like, you get the right quarterback in there, that thing is no telling.
Like they got it all. Like they receivers is stupid. Sutton, Judy, Hamler, Noah Fant. Like they got a team. I mean,
You
they
gotta
got
be.
weapons. They need a
You
quarterback.
gotta be. If you're Elway, you gotta be looking at Justin Fields salivating like,
Like,
please,
come
Niners, don't
on.
take him. Let me go get Fields, and it's on. It's on.
And it's on. And it's on in the AFC. It's on. Because everybody not everybody, but all the guys from this class, they would be pretty much in the AFC if the Broncos did that. But you got Lawrence, Jaguars, Zach Wilson, Jets. And then if you had Denver trade up for Fields, Denver and Fields. All three of them would be in the AFC. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
So all right. So and then the other draft rumor I got to bring up. I hate to talk about it. I don't want to see it. They say that Jerry Jones is infatuated with Kyle Pitts.
Hold on. Oh yeah, I seen that crap.
Yeah, and I don't know if you like you may not be as in tune with what the way our drafts work, but when they say Jerry Jones is in love with a player, Jerry Jones is in love with a player, it is sometimes time to get worried. I know you probably heard stories that they had to wrestle the phone away from him so he didn't take Johnny Manziel, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that worries me because my thing is at 10. There's a slim chance that Kyle Pitts falls to us at 10. And I will say this. In my opinion, if Kyle Pitts falls to us at 10, unpopular opinion, it would be our responsibility to take Kyle Pitts. And I'm gonna say that because it is. I know what your opinion is gonna be, but I'm gonna tell you why. It's not about that. It's not about our offense being any better. It's about the two teams picking behind us. After us, it's the Giants and the Eagles. I can't let Kyle Pitts go to either one of those teams.
Reason than that's a better. Well, go ahead. That's a good reason.
I can't do that. If I'm not trading out of that pick and giving it to somebody that's not in my division, then I can't not take Kyle Pitts.
That's a good one. I ain't never thought about it.
I can't let either one of these teams get Kyle Pitts. I can't do it. So and that's the only scenario where I would be okay with this. If he falls to 10 and we can't trade out of the pick, then we got to take him. Got to. No, there's no choice. We don't have a choice.
I've never even thought about that's
We have no choice. So it's like
I say this. You need to trade the pick there. He does not help you. The draft is about helping you. You can't draft to not get to us. You need to get somebody by the pick. I can understand now wanting him on one of them teams, right? So that's why you trade the pick to a team that will take him.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to take Kyle Pitts. I love the player. I don't need him. I need a corner. I need a top flight corner. At the
Damn
most,
right you do.
I may take Parsons. I may take that linebacker. I'm not mad at that either. Uh, if it's the offensive lineman, I wouldn't like it, but I understand it.
Ah, it's understandable, yeah.
Kyle Pitts, I don't need him, like you said, but I'm not gonna let y'all have him either. That's the damn. But my thing is, my fear is that Jerry is over there talking to the Falcons about trading up to 4 for Kyle Pitts, and that, my friend, that would infuriate me. That would be
Trading up for him?
That's my fear. My fear is that if Jerry's the type of guy, if he wants his guy, he's gonna try to go get him. Because the thing is, realistically, Kyle Pitts should not be there at 10. If Kyle Pitts is there at 10, somebody along the way made a bad decision. Somebody made a bad decision if Kyle Pitts is still there at 10. But like I said, if he's there, we already know my scenarios. But I don't want us trading up to go get Kyle. I do not want us to pay any
That
extra
would be
to
retarded.
go get.
Trading up to get him is idiotic. That's idiotic.
Like,
what are you
doing? I can't abide. I can't abide that.
That makes no sense. Like, but go ahead. I want y'all. A lot of your fans, I talked to people on Twitter today. They just acted like, "Oh no, it's okay if we want to pick Pitts. Like, it's the best player on the board." I'm like, "Yo, y'all." I'm like, Jerry Jones. That owner really got y'all brainwashed. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Like I said, it's only one scenario where I said I'm okay with Pitts, and that is to keep him away from y'all, and that's it.
And I can see that. People talk about, you got to take the
Eagles
best player on the board. It doesn't matter what position he's at. You got to take the best player. I'm like, come on, stop it. Y'all don't need no more offense. I'm not dealing with Kyle Pitts
for 10 years in my division. No, we're not doing that.
On the Giants, you almost had to deal with it anyway, but my GMs are not bad.
Yeah, we're not doing it. So
like we saved y'all. Y'all should be definitely dealing with at least Chase or Pitts. It should be locked up.
I'm so glad I don't.
Fucking asshole.
But yeah, like I said, I plan on Pitts being off the board and us grabbing our corner. Hopefully, to me, I think I'm as time progresses, I'm more and more leaning towards Surtain. I like Horn or Surtain. Either one I'll be fine with, but I'm leaning more towards Surtain. But that's so we can unless you have anything else on the draft, we can move on from the draft. That's all the ones I really wanted to hit.
I just need my team not to blow it. You already done traded down.
Ideally at 12. Ideally, I'm gonna ask 2 questions. Ideally, offense or defense?
Depends. Ideally, like I can control it.
Yeah. Ideally, offense. If you could say offense, and ideally you would want a receiver then.
Smith or Waddle? Smith for me.
Smith would be your preference, and that was my next question. I
would have took Devonta Smith at 6 if Chase was gone.
Yeah. So my thing is, I don't know, because I think see the reason why I asked that is because a lot of the mocks I'm seeing have Waddle going before Smith.
Yeah, Smith I don't understand it at all.
And Smith falling to y'all.
Yeah, thank you. I hope that happens.
But they're saying Waddle's going to Detroit.
I pray Detroit does that. That makes no sense.
Detroit, I'm taking Smith. He's the X type receiver that you don't have.
They don't have a receiver at all right now.
Yeah, but so you want to start with your number 1.
Yeah.
To me, Waddle's great. I don't see Waddle as a number 1.
I don't understand it, but somebody said this to me. You ain't think Ruggs would go before Judy either. I said, damn right I did.
Yeah, me either. I thought Ruggs was the 3rd one, though. I thought it was going to be Judy, CeeDee Lamb, and then Ruggs. So shows how much I know.
Teams fall on their preferences, man. And where Dan Campbell come from?
True.
Raiders.
Yeah. True.
Waddle just could be that type of guy.
Yeah, no, speed. They, it's all speed. So I get it.
We're gonna see, like they're gonna take a receiver.
Waddle's not bad.
My fear though is this: the Giants take him at 11.
I worry about that Giants pick. Now, the only thing, like, I got them taking Parsons at 11, and Parsons is a great player, but that's acceptable to me. Like, if they take, that's why I got them taking. Waddle would be bad. Smith would be bad, but they have Galladay. That's a little redundant. Um,
They got a lot of receivers. They really don't need a receiver. They got Galladay, they got Shepard, they got Slayton. They don't need another receiver. No. But I just say that's my fear. That's all.
Yeah.
They need to take Rashawn Slater if he's there. They O-line still
real talk. Yeah. That would be to me. That would be
him or a linebacker. That's it. Those two.
Michael Parsons, Rashawn Slater. One of those two. Yeah, but like I said, for y'all, like, if I was gonna say ideal pick, I would say Devonta Smith as well.
If you go offense, if you go defense, it's JC Horn. That's all. I was
gonna say that. Other than that, JC Horn would be great.
It's a 3-man race for me. In my opinion, at 12, it needs to be one of these 3 guys: Smith, Waddle, or Horn, or Surtain. 4. It's 4 Surtain. Because if y'all take Horn, out of them 4, one of them's gonna be there. Just take them. If the Lions take Smith at 7, who is it? Yeah, if y'all take, or like I said, if the Lions take Smith at 7, if y'all take Surtain at 10, right? If the Giants somehow take F it and take Smith at 11, we sitting right there. We just take JST on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or you know what I mean? Whatever. One of those 4 is. That's it.
I think Waddle. Now I don't want to say Waddle would be redundant on your team.
He would be.
I think Waddle would make Rager redundant. Waddle's the better player.
Yes.
Waddle's the better player. Yeah. So I think Waddle would make Rager redundant. So I don't think that's a good pick. So,
but
yeah,
what I'm saying is, all right. So if the Giants took Horn, right? What I just said, right? If the Giants took Horn and Waddle's there, who are you taking over him?
For y'all, I would say you didn't say Parsons. I would say Parsons.
You didn't say Parsons.
I say take the linebacker at that point.
Okay. Yeah, agreed.
I mean, he's not one of your picks, but I would just say if that's
I thought he was gone. Yeah, he's part of it. Yeah, if he's there, it's 5 guys then.
That's best player available at that point. You take Parsons because he fills a need too, and he's the best player available. Yeah, so I would go Parsons, and I wouldn't feel bad about it. I'd be like,
I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah, I got a great linebacker, probably better than a few of the guys that went ahead of him. So,
I'd be ecstatic.
So of course, we're gonna have way more NFL draft talk
3 weeks
to go. But but it's coming up. It's coming up. So I'm excited, man. I need that. I need that corner, man. I need that corner, man. Let's just be smart, man. For once, well, not even for once. We usually draft pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. We usually draft pretty well. The CeeDee Lamb thing was an aberration, and I'm not mad at it. I understand it. Let's shift. Let's do a little NBA before we get out of here. I want to, talk just the, kind of the state of the NBA a little bit right now. And then I got About That Life and a Not About That Life, both NBA related. I want to do before we get out of here. So just kind of talking the state of the NBA right now. We're post All-Star break, we're post trade deadline, we're pretty much post buyouts. Everybody pretty much is where they're going to be. You can kind of see, things kind of crystallizing as far as at least at the top of the conferences. Everybody's starting to kind of getting into spots. You got guys coming back. You guys got Embiid back recently. KD played last night pretty well. Lakers still, got at least I think they're about another week out for LeBron and AD. So I just want to kind of get your idea of where you see things going. My thing, I think the biggest question mark for me is going to be who gets their guys back the quickest. Now, for y'all, that question is kind of already answered. You guys got Embiid back. You guys are pretty much whole now. You're just waiting on George Hill. I don't know if he's.
Mhm.
I think he's recovering from a surgery actually, though, right?
Yeah. Some.
Yeah. So yeah. So y'all waiting on Hill. Um, but with the Nets, they kind of got a little situation as far as I'm concerned because
Yeah. They
you're getting KD back, but as you
you
get
lose
KD
Harden.
back, you lose Harden for at least like I'm hearing like 10 days, possibly
10 days.
2 weeks.
They've yet to play
That's
together, man. And I think
yeah,
that's what's gonna hurt them the most.
yeah, that's not ideal.
I think that's the most out of everything that could go wrong. That's the one. It's like they have not been able to get any cohesive play before a playoff stretch. Like we'll see if it happens because they say he got 10 days. Like we're getting closer and closer to the end. Right.
Yeah,
And
so it was
KD's
only
just coming
22
back.
games at the beginning of this week.
Yeah, and you don't know how many games KD gonna be back for. Kyrie had things go on and on left and right. Like it's just a lot going on where it's just like, okay, at what point are y'all gonna play together?
Yeah, for a stretch of time. I'm not talking about
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 games. Y'all gotta, it does. That's something that has to gel. Now, these are guys that KD and Harden have played together already on another team, like almost a lifetime ago, because they,
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Mm-hmm.
yeah, at least Harden is a completely different player. Um, Harden and Kyrie had some time playing together where they kind of, were able to figure synergy out. KD and Kyrie had some time playing together where they were able to kind of
And they
put
just
a
all have to
synergy
play
together.
together.
Yeah. So it's going to be how fast they can gel going into play. Now, the only thing that may be helpful for them is that they're so explosive offensively. A first round series that could be more or less a feel out for them because they're going to be playing more than likely either the winner of the play in or the seventh seed. So they're going to be in a spot where they can kind of maybe work through some kinks in that first round. So that's
Yeah,
good
we're
thing
gonna
for
try to
them.
hold them off. We'll see. We're trying to
Yeah,
hold them off. We're still tied up right now. We'll see how that falls. Who gets the one? Who gets the two? I actually think it's pretty important because that ball team that get one don't got to play the Bucks
yeah,
to
no,
get to the
no, for
Eastern
sure.
Conference
Like
Finals.
that's
Like
very important,
the team
especially
that
I
go
think.
first.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Not
say
little,
it's more important for Brooklyn than for y'all. I think that Brooklyn would be more susceptible to the Bucks than y'all. I think y'all still beat the Bucks in the series. Y'all get beat up, of course, a little bit, but y'all
yeah, I
gonna
just don't
beat.
want to play them. Like I think it's a
Yeah,
lot easier for the Eastern Conference Finals to have watch two teams battle out, and you know what I mean. Like you want them to you don't want to have to go through two hurdles. Like
yeah,
the 2 and the 3, that's a battle.
yeah,
Whoever gonna be a if it's the Sixers and it's the Bucks, it's the Bucks and it's the Nets, it's a battle. Like that takes something out of you. So I'm hoping we get the 1 seed. So even though I think Miami's a good team, that we probably play them in the second round, but it's a 3-man race over here. You know what I mean? We're not getting
yeah,
sent home by Miami in a 7-game series. So
yeah, more or less. I mean, the other teams is I'm still hoping that we can kind of at some point get it together, um, and get everybody on the court at the same time as well. We having similar issues, so and try to. I would love to see us get into that either the 4 or the 5. To me, it wouldn't matter because I'm not afraid of the team that would be in the 4. So I wouldn't really.
yeah, for a while. Well, if it's Miami, you gotta worry about them.
I'm not afraid of Miami. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind playing Miami in a series. If that's what we have to do, if that's
Mm-hmm.
what we have to do, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying. It's going to be them. Like
yeah,
the Hornets was
so
there, and they're still
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
floating around. But without LaMelo, they're going to eventually fall out.
yeah. It's gonna be either Miami. We're probably gonna end up playing
Miami,
Miami in the first round because at the end
if
of the
y'all can beat
day,
a 4 or 5.
yeah, we're gonna have to either get to that 5 or try to overtake them for the 4. We're not catching
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee, so yeah. I mean that's the goal. We're still not there yet, but we're not far from it. Everybody's all like a game apart, so it's like we
Yeah,
just need to
Hornets, the
just.
Knicks is between
We
the
beat the Knicks
Heat,
last night, so we should be right behind the Hornets at this point.
the Hornets, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Hawks, Raptors, all of them fighting for them last couple spots that play in to get to that 10.
Yeah, we do. All I really want to do is get out of that play-in spot because we don't belong in the
You
play-in.
will be sick. Yeah, I say we won't
Yeah,
belong in the play.
yeah, we don't belong in the play-in. I'm not doing. We don't do play-ins in Boston. No, we ain't doing that. We 6'5'4". We need to be in there somewhere in there.
We don't do what it is.
No, we don't do that.
Oh man, that's funny.
But then in the West, looking at the West, like I said, if I'm a little worried about the Nets, then you got to sound the alarm for the Lakers at this point.
Injuries,
Because
yeah.
now, the simple fact, they won a championship already. And by they, I'm really more or less just talking about LeBron and AD together.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can just get on the court together, they may be okay. But I feel like it's one thing for them to get out the West. It's a completely other thing for them to be thinking championship. And in saying that, I'm saying that the two teams likely to come out of the East, to me, are looking like the stronger teams either way. Whoever comes out of the East, to me, is going to be the stronger team.
Yeah, you gotta watch the Clippers and the Jazz. I ain't giving up on them.
No, I'm not giving up on anybody. But I do say, I in a series, I like the Sixers over the Jazz. I like the Sixers over the Clippers. I like the Sixers over the Lakers. And I say the same thing for the Nets. Over any of those three teams, I like. I mean, I think that the Clippers and the Nets would be the best opportunity for the West to be the champion. I feel like the Clippers have the best matchups, better
defensively.
matchups.
Yeah, they could check up. Now with Rondo there too.
Yeah, I think they match up the best defensively with the Nets to me right now. And I feel like that's the one matchup where I can see the West coming away with the chip. The other ones are not looking good for the West.
Yeah, don't worry about the Clippers. They're gonna do what Embiid.
Yeah, like the Clippers.
But Utah is good, man, because when they shooting, man, they shot. When that's falling, they hard to beat.
Now, I watched when you guys played them, and the reason why I think that it'll be hard for a series, of course. I feel like you guys have an edge because y'all have so much length defensively. Y'all can bother that shooting. Y'all actually have the personnel to bother the way they hop the ball around. No matter who they end up with, is somebody that can contest. So I feel like y'all have a good shot. I think the East has the better shot from what I'm seeing right now of out of the two conferences.
Man, I don't know. I just can't talk about it. Because my team's there. I need to happen.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's a different mindset. When it's one of your teams, I don't want to underestimate nobody. And we get there and we get smacked, and I'm hurt. Like, well, I need to just see it all play out. Let's go. George Hill get back on the court, but you said he got thumb surgery.
Now we mentioned we talked a little minute. We mentioned the play-in. Now, like I said again, Boston doesn't do play-ins. But what impact do you think the play-in could possibly have on this year's playoff?
Oh, I don't think it affects the playoffs in any way. I think it brings more fans. I think it will be an exciting thing to watch. Yeah. But I do think the team that gets out, they're still going to lose to the 1 or 2 seeds. That's not changing. But I just think it brings excitement to the league. So it's going to be good games for sure. It was something from the bubble that carried on. I like the idea. I'll be tuned in for sure. And I think it's going to keep teams. I think the whole idea was to keep teams active and not trying to tank. That's what their real goal is.
Yeah.
And I do think they will succeed with that.
Yeah. One of the things I like about it is something that carried over from the bubble. And because the bubble was such an
experience.
Yeah, experience that I would love it if the playing game just becomes a part of the playoffs, because at least that bubble year would be remembered going forward forever. Like, it's already going to be remembered, but that was just something that started in the bubble and it would continue. That would be dope to me. I think the biggest thing about the play-in is, of course, I don't think either anybody coming out the play-in is going to, upset one of the top seeds. I feel like you said before, it keeps more teams engaged. More teams feel like they have a shot at the playoffs. And I think that's all going to be good for the league. I feel like that affected the playoffs. I think the playing game is going to raise the level of competition for the entire playoffs.
That's possible. It sets the tone.
Yeah, exactly. It sets it off rip. Guys fighting for the simple fact to make it in the playoffs, but
Mm-hmm.
then it's not the regular season. It's the postseason. So I think that's dope. That's the dopest thing about it to me.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, and as far as NBA is big dog right now. It's king. It's a lot going on. So we're gonna be talking way more and more about the NBA. Down the stretch, and especially as we get into playoffs. So we'll be back on that. Um, but I did want to before unless you have anything else NBA related you want to talk about.
No.
I want to go. I want to do my about that life and not about that life. Both NBA related, so it's all related to what we're talking about. The first I want to give about that life to Isaiah Thomas. As we all know, former Celtic. One of the some of the best moments of the Celtic that we've had. Since 2008. Um, unfortunate the way things ended there, but it was just really great to see him back on the court and not only back on the court, but back on the court looking like himself. I think in just I didn't watch the actual game, but the clips that I saw of him playing, that's IT. That's what I remember. That's the king of the fourth. That's the guy I remember from that run in Boston. So that was great. Definitely glad he was able to make it back, and I hope that you know this is just the beginning of I guess the second half of his career.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him back in the NBA. Hope he has like a Melo type of return. Now people try to write Melo off, but Melo just shut all that up. So I'm hoping for the
Mhm.
same for him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that he landed in a good spot. I think the Pelicans can use him.
Mm-hmm.
They can use that scoring. They can use somebody that can hit shots down the stretch. That sort of thing. So yeah, for sure. And then so definitely I want to salute him. Hope he stays healthy. Hope he sticks with the Pelicans. And I hope the Pelicans make the playoffs so that he can get some postseason run, man. Been a
He
minute,
going he
man.
he's there to help
Yeah,
him do that. Let's see if they pull it
yeah.
off.
But you always got good sides and bad sides. Got to give a not about that life to somebody that I never thought I'd be talking about um, on this show. Michael Rappaport. Not about that life. I know everybody seen the DMs that were quote unquote leaked um, of KD and Michael Rappaport going back and forth. Obviously, KD said some things that shouldn't have been said. He probably took it a little too far. But to me, none of us know anything about this if Michael Rappaport does not put those DMs out.
Nope.
And it starts right there. It starts and ends right there to me. Like, I'm not a guy. I don't want to know certain things about players. Not saying that everybody, I'm not a shut up and dribble guy. I think that players should have a voice and speak about what they want to speak about. But I also think about things that are private should stay private. Um, that conversation was a conversation, not a public conversation, a private conversation between two men, and I think it should have stayed that way.
And you could tell it wasn't the first conversation they've ever had.
Yeah.
Like it seems like that's something they do. They're playing around each other. I think he took it a little far when he said something about his wife. So I think that's when it probably got to him. But it was unnecessary for Michael Rappaport to put it out there as if Kevin Durant was trying to fight and beat him up and do this and do that. Right? He was looking for some clout and he got it for a little while. Like, I don't think you should be getting fined for DMs and all that type of stuff. Like, it's crazy that how they trying to play KD. But Michael Rappaport is a sucker. He's been a sucker.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't let a not about that life pass him because that's for sure not about that life. Because to me, like you said, it doesn't seem like it's their first time talking. And if you took the opportunity to look at it's obvious that he deleted some of his messages because there's certain things that KD was saying where it was like that made no sense in the context. Something happened before that. So it's like if you're gonna do this, show the whole conversation, show how it went unfolded. If you're gonna do it, now you shouldn't have did it in the first place. But if you're going to, don't alter it and then put it out.
Yeah, that's corny. That's what makes him even cornier.
Yeah, that's whack.
Oh, you're gonna take your part out. Okay. And then KD, like, I'm not doing nothing, so I'm gonna let it ride.
Yeah, you got to. I think KD at that point, you can't fight that because you said what you said at the end of the day. It should have never came out, but you did say it. So you gotta, ride with that. You gotta fall on your sword. He did what he was supposed to do. He apologized for it, got his fine, slap on the wrist. He's gonna move on, and we're not gonna be talking. We're probably not talking about this next week. He's back on the court, and it's probably done already. But
facts, quick blip.
yeah, but Rappaport got to get It's Not About That Life for being whack.
He thinks he's so funny, bro. I never really got into him, but whatever.
It was dweeb behavior. Like, why? What are you?
Yeah.
What are we?
So that's what he's been to me.
Yeah. Anyway, man, that's all I got, man. I just hit what I wanted to hit, man. You got anything, or we can get out? We get out of here.
Nah, I think we wrapped it up. We did things in and out. Appreciate anybody watching. Salute.
All right, man. And of course, catch us next time and join the conversation. If you want to catch us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, under About That Sports Life, ABTDATSPRTSLIFE. YouTube, Facebook, under About That Sports Life. Email, any questions, comments, topics, concerns, info at About That Sports Life. And you can check out replays of the show on our site, www.aboutthatsportslife.com, and anywhere else that you get podcasts. I'm out of here, man. We'll check you out.
Peace.
Later.